The Young and the Restless spoilers. Thurdays update. The 9th of July, 2026. Patty makes a deadly move to silence. Jack as Michael fights for Diane and Billy questions Jill's true motives. The Young and the Restless spoilers. For Wednesday, July 8, suggests that Genoa City is about to become even more dangerous as the Abbott family crisis deepens. Diane Jenkins Abbott's legal nightmare intensifies, and Patty Williams takes what may be her most desperate step yet. Jack Abbott is still lying unconscious in the hospital after Patty's brutal stabbing, and as long as he remains silent, Patty's lie still has power. Diane may have been released from the police station and allowed to rush to Jack's bedside, but that does not mean she is safe. Her name is still hanging under suspicion, her freedom is still fragile, and the one person who can truly clear her is unable to speak. That gives Patty a terrifying window of opportunity. If Jack wakes up, he can tell the truth. He can say that Patty, not Diane, was the one who attacked him. He can destroy Patty's false story in a single sentence. So, now the question becomes chillingly simple. How far will Patty go to make sure Jack never gets that chance? Patty has always claimed that she loves Jack, but her love has never been the kind that protects, respects, or lets go. It is obsessive, possessive, and dangerous. The sort of twisted devotion that turns rejection into rage and fear into violence. When she stabbed Jack, she crossed a line that no amount of tears or pleading could erase. Yet in Patty's mind, she may still see herself as the injured one. She may believe Diane stole Jack from her, Kyle interfered with her plan, and the Abbott family never understood what she and Jack were supposed to be. That makes her even more unpredictable. A guilty person trying to escape justice is dangerous enough, but a guilty person who believes she is the victim can be far worse. Patty may not view another attempt on Jack's life as murder. She may convince herself that she is protecting herself, protecting a dream, or even saving Jack from a truth that would destroy them both. That is what makes her next move so frightening. She does not need to be calm or rational to act. She only needs one opportunity. After Tuesday's episode, Diane was finally released from the police station and taken directly to the hospital, where she joined Billy Abbott, Tracy Abbott, and Kyle Abbott at Jack's bedside. That moment should have been a relief. Diane had escaped captivity, survived Patty and Dr. Lawrence Markham's twisted scheme, and avoided being locked away immediately for a crime she did not commit. But the sight of Jack unconscious in a hospital bed turned that relief into torment. Diane cannot fully defend herself while Jack is unable to confirm her innocence. She cannot fully grieve because the police may still be watching her. She cannot simply sit beside her husband like any other terrified wife because Patty has already planted the idea that Diane could be responsible. Every tear Diane sheds may be judged. Every panicked word may be interpreted. Every attempt to stay close to Jack may be viewed through suspicion. That is the cruelty of Patty's frame-up. It does not only threaten Diane legally, it poisons her ability to love Jack openly in the moment when he needs her most. Patty knows this, and she may try to exploit the confusion inside the hospital. Hospitals in Genoa City are supposed to be places of healing, but they often become stages for secrets, confessions, threats, and last-minute interruptions. Jack's room may appear secure, with family nearby and medical staff coming in and out, but Patty has a history of slipping into places she does not belong. If she can disguise herself, create a distraction, use someone else's access, or wait until the family briefly steps away, she may attempt to get close enough to Jack to silence him permanently. The idea is horrifying because Jack is defenseless. He cannot push her away. He cannot warn Diane. He cannot call for help. He is alive, but he is vulnerable in a way Jack Abbott rarely is. For a man known for confidence, sharp words, and stubborn strength, being trapped in silence while his attacker roams free is one of the most dramatic positions the story could create. Patty's possible plan to kill Jack before he wakes up also exposes the contradiction at the center of her obsession. She says she loves him, but if he wakes and tells the truth, she loses everything. That means her love depends on his silence. It depends on his helplessness. It depends on him being unable to reject her, accuse her, or return to Diane. In Patty's mind, a silent Jack may still belong to her fantasy, but a conscious Jack becomes a threat. That is a devastating and dangerous transformation. The man she claimed to adore becomes the witness she must eliminate. If Patty enters Jack's hospital room with the intention of finishing what she started, then the storyline will push her beyond a jealous villain and into the territory of a truly desperate criminal. She will not only be trying to escape punishment for the stabbing, she will be trying to erase Jack's voice from the case entirely. Meanwhile, Michael Baldwin will begin building a legal strategy for Diane, and his involvement may be the first real sign that Diane has a fighting chance. Michael understands Genoa City better than almost anyone. He knows how reputations can be weaponized, how police assumptions can harden too quickly, and how dangerous it is when a false narrative becomes the first story everyone hears. Diane needs more than sympathy. She needs a legal advocate who can slow the process down, challenge the weak points in Patty's accusation, and force investigators to look beyond the obvious. Michael will likely recognize immediately that the case against Diane is built on shaky ground. Yes, she has a complicated history. Yes, she had emotional ties to Jack. Yes, she appeared in the orbit of the crime at a suspicious time. But suspicion is not proof. The timeline matters. Diane's kidnapping matters. Kyle's rescue of his mother matters. Lawrence Markham's role matters. Patty's history with Jack matters. Michael's job will be to connect those pieces into a coherent defense before Diane is dragged deeper into a criminal case built on lies. Michael's approach to Christine Romalotti will be one of the most important developments in the episode. Christine is the new district attorney, and she is not someone who can be easily bullied, manipulated, or emotionally pushed into action. She is intelligent, experienced, and capable of seeing the larger picture. She also has a personal understanding of Patty Williams' history because of her connection to Paul Williams. As Paul's wife, Christine knows better than most what Patty has done before, how much chaos she has caused, and how deeply her actions have affected Jack and those around him. That does not mean Christine can simply ignore procedure or declare Diane innocent because Patty has a troubling past, but it does mean she will likely be cautious before accepting Patty's accusation at face value. Christine may not be Diane's friend, and she may have her own doubts about Diane as a person, but doubting Diane's character is not the same as believing she would stab Jack and then pretend to be devastated beside his hospital bed. The tension for Christine may come from the legal and ethical complications surrounding the case. Can she oversee or participate in a case that involves Patty, given her personal connection to Paul and Paul's history with Patty? Would that create a conflict of interest? Would the defense use that connection to challenge her decisions later? If Christine steps aside, who takes over? And would that person be less familiar with Patty's dangerous patterns? If she stays involved, can she separate what she knows personally from what can actually be proven in court? These are difficult questions, and Michael may press her on them. He may argue that Diane is being railroaded because Patty's lie came at the most convenient possible moment. He may remind Christine that Diane was just kidnapped and that the police should be looking hard at Lawrence, Patty, and the remote location where Diane was held. Christine may push back and say that she cannot make decisions based on Michael's passion alone. She will need facts. She will need evidence that stands up. That exchange could become a powerful legal chess match, with Michael fighting to protect Diane and Christine trying to maintain justice without letting personal history cloud the case. The most compelling part of Michael and Christine's confrontation is that both may actually want the truth, even if they stand on different sides of the process. Michael wants Diane cleared. Christine wants the right person held accountable. Those goals should align, but the pressure of a high-profile Abbott family stabbing could complicate everything. The public will want answers. The police will want a suspect. Patty will want Diane blamed. Lawrence may want Diane discredited. The Abbotts will want Jack protected and Diane treated fairly. In that storm, Christine must decide how cautious, aggressive, or flexible she can be. If she moves too quickly against Diane, she risks helping Patty. If she hesitates too long, she risks being accused of weakness or bias. Michael will likely try to exploit every opening, not because he is reckless, but because Diane's freedom may depend on stopping the prosecution before it gains momentum. Inside the Abbott family, loyalty will be tested in painful ways. Kyle will stand firmly behind Diane because he knows what happened to her. He helped rescue her. He saw enough to understand that his mother is not the attacker Patty claims she is. But Kyle's loyalty may be dismissed by outsiders because he is Diane's son. Tracy may be torn between concern for Jack, fear of Patty, and the emotional exhaustion of watching her warnings come true. Billy will be at the hospital too, and his presence adds another layer of Abbott tension. Billy loves Jack, but he is also a man who often reacts emotionally before he thinks strategically. Seeing Jack unconscious may fill him with rage. If Diane is under suspicion, Billy may not know exactly where to place that rage at first. He may want to believe Diane, especially if Kyle and Tracy support her, but he may also be suspicious of everyone until Jack wakes up. That uncertainty could create friction among the Abbotts at the worst possible time. Billy's personal storyline with Jill Abbott will bring a different kind of family conflict into the episode. While Jack's crisis is immediate and life-threatening, Billy and Jill's conflict is rooted in old wounds that never fully healed. Spoilers suggest that Billy and Jill will argue again as they attempt, in their own damaged way, to repair their fractured relationship. The problem is that every attempt at healing between them seems to reopen the same question. Can Billy truly trust his mother? Billy's trust issues with Jill did not appear overnight. They are deeply connected to her past decisions, especially the devastating move of selling Chancellor Industries to Victor Newman years ago. For Billy, that betrayal was not just business. It felt personal. It felt like Jill gave away a legacy, a piece of family identity, and perhaps a part of Billy's future. Even if Jill had reasons, even if she believed she was doing what needed to be done, Billy experienced it as proof that his mother's love could be tangled with ambition, control, or self-interest. Now, as they clash again, Billy may question Jill's true motives. Does she really want to repair their relationship, or does she want to influence him? Is she reaching out because she loves him, or because she wants something from him? Is she trying to protect him, or manage him? These are the kinds of questions that haunt Billy whenever Jill gets too close. Jill may insist that she loves her son and wants what is best for him, but Billy may not be ready to accept that at face value. His emotional defenses are high because he has been disappointed before. He may accuse Jill of always having an angle. Jill, in turn, may be hurt and furious that Billy continues to see her through the lens of her worst decisions. Their argument may become less about the present issue and more about years of resentment, missed chances, and words neither of them can take back. Jill's challenge will be proving that her love for Billy is not just another form of control. That may be harder than she expects because Jill is a powerful personality. She is used to pushing, deciding, advising, and sometimes interfering. Even when her intentions are loving, her methods can feel invasive. Billy, who already struggles with authority and trust, may interpret her concern as manipulation. If Jill wants to reach him, she may have to do something she finds difficult. Stop defending herself long enough to acknowledge the damage Billy still carries. She may need to admit that selling Chancellor Industries to Victor hurt him in ways she did not fully understand or did not want to face. Without that kind of honesty, their attempts at reconciliation may keep collapsing into the same argument. Billy's conflict with Jill also mirrors the larger family loyalty theme running through the episode. Diane needs her family to believe her when the evidence may look confusing. Jack needs his family to protect him, while he cannot protect himself. Michael needs Christine to consider the truth beyond appearances. Billy needs Jill to prove that her love is stronger than her history of questionable choices. In every corner of Genoa City, people are being asked to decide what loyalty really means. Does loyalty mean defending someone no matter what? Does it mean telling hard truths? Does it mean stepping back instead of taking control? Does it mean trusting a person who has hurt you before? The episode places those questions under pressure, and that pressure is what gives the drama its emotional force. As Patty moves closer to another desperate act, the stakes around Jack's hospital room could become unbearable. Diane may refuse to leave his side, not only because she loves him, but because some part of her may sense that Jack is still in danger. Kyle may also become protective, watching the door, questioning who enters, and fearing that Patty could still be nearby. Tracy may try to keep the family calm, even as her own nerves fray. Billy may be pulled between his anger over Jack and his separate argument with Jill. If Patty does manage to sneak in, the hospital could become the scene of a terrifying confrontation. Perhaps Diane catches her. Perhaps Kyle arrives at the last second. Perhaps Jack stirs just enough to react, giving the family a clue. Or perhaps Patty's attempt fails in a way that exposes her desperation to someone who can no longer ignore the truth. Any of these possibilities would push the story forward, but all of them depend on the same ticking clock. Jack must survive long enough to speak. Michael's legal strategy may also depend on proving that Patty had both motive and opportunity. Motive is clear to anyone who knows her history with Jack. Patty wanted Jack, blamed Diane, and had every reason to stop Jack from identifying her. Opportunity may be harder to prove unless someone can place her at the scene, find the weapon, uncover forensic evidence, or expose contradictions in her statement. Michael may advise Diane not to let emotion control her when talking to police or prosecutors. Diane may struggle with that because Jack's condition is personal, raw, and terrifying. She may want to scream that Patty did it. She may want to accuse Lawrence. She may want to force everyone to listen. But Michael knows that an emotional outburst can be twisted against a suspect. If Diane wants to stay free and remain near Jack, she must be careful. That discipline may be one of her hardest tests. Christine's decision could become a turning point. If she agrees that the case against Diane is weak, Diane may gain time and breathing room. If Christine decides there is enough to proceed, Diane's nightmare escalates immediately. If Christine recuses herself because of a conflict, the case may become even more unpredictable. A new prosecutor without her knowledge of Patty's past could be more easily persuaded by surface-level evidence. That possibility may worry Michael because Christine's personal understanding of Patty, while complicated, could actually help prevent a miscarriage of justice. The legal system in Genoa City is never simple, and this case is especially tangled because personal history is both relevant and potentially problematic. By the end of the episode, viewers may be left with several urgent questions. Will Patty really try to kill Jack before he wakes up? Will Diane or Kyle stop her in time? Will Jack regain consciousness long enough to name his attacker? Or will his condition keep Diane trapped under suspicion? Will Michael convince Christine to look beyond Patty's accusation and focus on the larger conspiracy? Will Christine take the case, step away from it, or find another way to ensure fairness? And in the middle of all this Abbott chaos, will Billy and Jill finally make progress? Or will Billy's doubts about his mother destroy another chance at reconciliation? The Wednesday episode promises to be packed with emotional tension, legal strategy, and dangerous movement. Patty is cornered, and cornered villains often become more reckless. Diane is free, but her freedom could vanish if Jack remains silent. Michael is ready to fight, but he needs evidence, not just outrage. Christine may be the voice of reason, but even reason becomes complicated when personal history and legal duty collide. Billy wants to believe family can mean something, but Jill's past choices still stand between them. And Jack Abbott, the man at the center of the storm, lies unconscious, with the truth locked inside him. In Genoa City, silence can be deadly, and right now, Jack's silence is the one thing Patty needs most. If he wakes up, Diane may be saved. If he does not, Patty's lie may become strong enough to destroy everything.